Boxing King Media in association with Boxxer. It's almost 1 a.m. out here in Liverpool. So it's like an after-hours interview, a free-flowing with, I know you as Big Mo, the new ring announcer for Boxxer on Sky Sports. So just introduce yourself to the British boxing fans.
So my name is Cody Momarts. I go by Big Mo for simplicity. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I am a professional ring announcer.
So, Cody, the first thing I've got to ask you is, where does the name Big Mo come from? I know Big comes from you're a big dude. So how tall are you?
I am 6'7".
And where does Mo come from?
So Mo is just short for my last name. I think the nickname came. I was a college football player before I kind of got in entertainment, and I used to be about 3'10". So Big Mo was kind of just a nickname that I got in high school. And when I was starting my entertainment career, I kind of thought about, I don't really want someone to have to struggle through my crossword puzzle of a last name. So I just shortened it, 2 syllables. It's easy. No one forgets it. So.
Interesting, man. So, obviously, I think you told me you're 27, 28?
26.
26. Even younger. Yeah. So, just tell me, like, briefly, how did you get into this whole game of doing ring announcing?
Yeah. So, towards the tail end of my sports career, I noticed that I was a pretty good public speaker, and I started hosting banquets and events and different things like that at my college. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you ever tried commentary?" Because that's a natural progression when someone's done playing sports. And at the time, I was kind of tired of football and basketball and the sports that I played growing up, but I loved combat sports. I was a big fan of MMA and boxing, kind of all of it together. So I called up a local promotion in Denver. They were looking actually for a color commentator, so they brought me on to do color. Still love doing commentary, but I saw the ring announcer and I was like, I can do that. That seems more my style. So eventually they let me take on that role. That job turned into more jobs. That job turned into a more national gig. That national gig turned into an international gig. Then I did the Eddie Thor fight back in Dubai, and then that's where I think Boxxer kind of saw me originally. So then they reached out, and here we are.
You know, that sounds crazy that you just said that you was at the Eddie Thor fight, because I was there, and I could just remember now. And I never thought about it at the time, but I can remember you doing the ring announcing there. What a crazy fight that was.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and that's I wore sunglasses in the ring, and that was kind of my style for a while. I've sort of gotten away from that. It was more so just to, help get my name out there and have people remember me. And no, it was a crazy fight. It was awesome being a part of it, because my goal when I started announcing is I want to grow combat sports to be as big as possible. Specifically, I want to help bring, whether it be boxing, whether it be MMA, whether it be whatever, I want to have that become the most popular sport amongst my age demographic. The 20 to 35-year-old demographic is the most difficult demographic to get, whether it be because of attention spans or different options to content, whatever it may be. And I've always thought that combat sports can really, I never understood why it wasn't more popular with that age group. I mean, we got crazy fans, we got alcohol, we got fighting, we have violence, we have massive entrances, and it's almost a circus of violence type of thing. And I never understood why it wasn't more popular with that age demo. And I thought that, well, me being a younger guy, that being my age demo that I currently live in, I figured that I could help do that. So that's my goal. And so with Eddie Thor, what was cool about that is I got to be a part of introducing boxing to a different group of people. The strongman community, which is a lot bigger than people may realize, the strongman community doesn't watch boxing. And so I got to be a part of showing them what boxing was, and we used it through the avenue of 2 people that they supported with Half Thor and Eddie.
Interesting that. So before we tackle into your the whole boxing journey, so just tell me, say in your early 20s, were you a boxing fan?
A little bit. I would say when I started, I was a bigger MMA fan. I still love boxing, but it's definitely my love for boxing has grown. I think that, and I think a lot of boxing fans can agree with me, that the deeper that you get into boxing and the more you understand it is really when you, I think, start to appreciate it a little bit more. I think when you start off with boxing, it can be a lot. There's a lot of belts, there's a lot of promotions, there's a lot of moving parts. I think once you understand it, then I think you can become more invested as a fan, in my opinion.
would you class yourself as like a hardcore boxing fan, or were you more like a casual fan who just kind of watched the big fights?
In the beginning, I was a casual fan. I would classify myself as a hardcore fan now. It's hard not to, with the depth of events that I kind of work with, and you know, coming over here to the UK, I think that boxing is a little bit more serious here than it is in America, and not in terms of seriousness, but I guess more so with kind of the culture receiving it and having it become a part of their fandom. I think it's just bigger here than it is in America.
It's interesting you saying that, because obviously America for a long time has been like that. Because a lot of the British fighters, they don't feel like they've made it unless they've conquered America or fought the big names in America. So it's weird, the different comparisons. So at what point did you think, you know what, because I'm sure you probably watch people like Michael Buffer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. and think, I can do this, or I can like bring my own little thing to it.
Yeah. So I guess, how it started off is I kind of wanted to just try it. And I started more in the MMA zone of things. And that's kind of really where I more so found my voice. And, people ask me influences or inspirations. I want to be myself. I want to have my own style. But what I really want to see is I kind of wanted to be somewhat of in the middle between a Michael and a Bruce Buffer. I think they both have their own interesting takes on announcing. And I would love to kind of be that middle lane. So that's kind of that's how I look at what I'm trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to do. But I really just want to be myself. I want to have my own brand. I want to have my own style. And I think that boxing is in need of a bit of a more energetic style of announcer. And I definitely classify myself more as that. So basically what I've said is that there's a difference between a ring announcer and a guy that reads names. I don't read names. I want to announce. My job is to entertain. I think that that's often, forgotten about, is that a ring announcer has the unique opportunity to control the feel and pace of an event. I'm the only person. What I've said is that when you look at a show, the ring announcer is the most consistent person during a broadcast. The fighters only do their fights, the referees rotate out, the commentators are off camera, and the referees switch out. The one consistent person, possibly two if they bring in someone for a main event, but the one consistent person is the ring announcer. And that individual has a microphone and is literally talking to both the live audience and the virtual audience that are watching digitally. Again, the only person that's doing that. The commentators aren't heard by the in-ring or the in-arena people. So I think the ring announcer has this really unique position that is vital to carrying the flow of a show.
Yeah, that's quite a valid point, Mo. With regards to, obviously, once you realise, this is the chosen field I want to go in, obviously everyone's got a catchphrase, Michael's got his catchphrase, Jimmy Lennon's got his catchphrase. How did you kind of get to the point where you decided, this is going to be my catchphrase?
So really what that was about is, so the number one stakeholder in this community that I look to please is the fans. Obviously, I want to introduce the fighters, and I want to give respect to them, and I want to hype them up. Obviously, I want to do whatever the promotion wants me to do. But in my opinion, the important stakeholder here is the fans. This wouldn't exist without people consuming the content, okay? And with that, I think that where a lot of promotions sometimes miss the mark is they forget that the competition for viewership is not just other boxing promotions. It's not just this promotion or that promotion. It's Netflix. It's the people going and watching a concert. It's the people not watching content at all. We have to give the viewers and the fans a reason to take 4 or 5 hours out of their life and watch our show. So everything that I do is from the basis of what is entertaining the fans the most, what is getting them the most energetic, what are they receptive of. So I guess for catchphrases, I like to start the show high. So I like to do a little bit of call and react. I like to do Can You Hear Me? You guys are going to see it on Saturday. You guys might have seen it in Bournemouth. And then for my catchphrase for the main event, I kind of rally everyone up. I try to make it this atmospheric environment. My catchphrase, I guess, is Get Wild, the catchphrase itself. But it's more about the build-up. It's more about how I've kind of built the show up to that point.
And obviously, once you got to the point where you got your catchphrase, so I'm just going to I would have asked you to do this at the end of the interview, but do it as we're talking about it. I'm going to give you the mic, just do your catchphrase. I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so you might have to tone it down a little bit, but do your catchphrase for Boxing King Media and you're announcing, I don't know, Ernie Shavers, who passed away earlier tonight. Announced the great man himself.
Early Shavers?
Yeah.
Early Shavers?
Boxing legend.
All right, we're going to have to keep it down because we're in a hotel. So I'm going to do a whisper main event introduction. Make sense? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Boxing King Media main event of the evening. So I need everybody in the arena, from the rafters to ringside, and those of you tuning in around the world, to get up out of your seats, raise your drinks high, and get wild. Introducing, fighting out of the red corner, representing the USA. What was his name?
Eddie Shavers.
Ernie Shavers. Oh, I misheard you first. Introducing, representing, and fighting out of the United States of America, please welcome Ernie Shavers. It's hard not to get the full feeling without full volume, but I hope I did all right with a whisper version.
Just for the record, we're sat in a hotel reception and there's loads of people stood around, so you had to obviously not do it too loud.
I'd break the whole arena. I'd break the whole hotel if I went full volume.
And I respect that, man. So obviously, what is like, your ultimate aim? Do you want to get to the point where you're working for multiple promotional companies around the world? Because obviously, seen David Diamante's got the Matchroom gig. He's going around the world. He's got his Catchphrase going, so he's become like a recognized name. Do you feel like you can be like? Because obviously Jimmy Lennon and Michael are obviously towards the end of their careers now, and maybe there's still a gap for another guy.
So for me, I've never had the goal of a singular promotion. That's never been the focus. What it's really been more so for me is I want to be the best announcer in the world. And when I say the best, I don't necessarily mean subjective, because people have different styles of announcing that they prefer. But I simply want to entertain the most fans as possible. So whatever platform can allow me to do that, whatever sport can allow me to do that, I'd be more than happy to do. Again, my number one goal is I want to entertain. I enjoy entertaining. I think that combat sports is truly the greatest sport on this planet, and I look at them collectively, and I want to help those sports grow. When I got started in this career, this is really kind of where I found my love for the entertainment side of things. But I'm part of a big friend group, and we always used to go out and go to the bars and go to parties and stuff. So what I did is I would throw on fights during the pregame, because usually the pregame was on a Saturday night, so there may have been a big fight on. And none of my friends ever understood necessarily who was fighting or what the rules were, anything like that. But what they could understand was the environment. They could relate to an arena of 20,000 people that are all excited, that are all on the edge of their seat. They can relate to the lights going down and fireworks and a fighter walkout and the ring announcer getting everyone ready. Like, they can relate to that. So that's really what I think that I can control and help be almost the bridge to bring new fans in, to where I don't care what aspect of the sport that you like, right? I don't care if it's knockouts, if it's technical boxing, if you like the commentary, if you like the environment, maybe you like the ring announcer, like whatever it is that you like, cool. I just want to have you be a part of this sport, because this community is amazing. The sports are amazing. I don't think anything can beat the feel of a fight, and I want as many people to experience that as possible.
You sound like you're talking with a lot of passion, and obviously if you kind of keep that energy, the way this sport works, I think when you bring that kind of energy, people kind of welcome you in. And I just want to clarify, there's no relation between you and Michael Buffer, because we was joking about it off camera. You do look like a young Michael Buffer.
People have thought I was Bruce Buffer's son. I've heard that before, but no relation. Don't have any ring announcers in my family, so no. I was a part of the Mike Tyson Hulu TV show that's currently streaming. I was the announcer for one of their episodes. I played like an announcer commentator. Unfortunately, my scene got cut. That's part of the show business. But I thought I got cast as Michael Buffer, because he always used to announce their fights. So I can see where the relation might be thought, slick back hair, white guy, American, but no relation.
What is happening is, you mentioned the Mike Tyson thing, because I've seen Mike mention some stuff on his social media about Hulu, and is there some sort of like thing going on?
So I'm not really involved with the show after that. They flew me in for one episode. I was supposed to be in one of the later episodes of the season. Past that, I really don't know what's going on. I know that Mike doesn't like it because I guess he wasn't a part of the creative process. I honestly don't know. I just was flown in, shot a couple scenes, and I left. And this is kind of the first thing I've heard about the show since they shot it, because they've been editing this whole time. So I really don't know. I'm just was thankful for the opportunity, and I wish the best for the cast and crew that I got to work with.
Definitely. And just to wrap up, Mo, what's I bet your family's proud of what you're doing. Obviously, getting flown out to the UK to do this type of work. I don't know if you want to talk about your personal life, etc. But what's family life like for you?
Small family. I think when I started, my family and friends were like, "What do you mean you ring announce?" Like it's almost. I think that if I had asked them what they thought, they probably thought that I did it in like a backyard for like backyard wrestling. And I tried to explain. I was like, no, like I do shows, and at the time I was doing, small shows, and that scaled to bigger shows and bigger shows, and then. Eddie Thor was, 1.5 million viewers worldwide, and then I started doing bigger and bigger shows, and so I think now they see they're like, now they all want tickets, now they all want to come to these shows, and again, but that's the whole point, that's the whole goal, is that whether it's the ring announcer that you like or whether it's another aspect that you like, as long as you become a fan of this great sport that we love, I did my job.
Definitely, man. I really appreciate you giving us good 10-15 minutes of your time. 1 o'clock in the morning. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the fans or say before we let you go?
Yeah. I want to say thank you to the fans. Thank you to those that follow me, that like my content, that like my style of announcing. I'm trying to bring this new, fresh flavor and this new kind of style to ring announcing, specifically in the boxing space. And I couldn't have been here without people like you, channels like Boxing King that support this industry and support me. So thank you all that follow me. If you don't follow me, that's the best place to see my work. On Instagram at official.bigmo, on TikTok at official.bigmo, on Twitter at bigmo_official. I tried to keep the usernames consistent, couldn't really do it. But thank you to you guys. And make sure you tune in to Boxxer this Saturday from Liverpool for Liam Smith versus Hassan Moquinho, and you will see me in the ring. So thank you guys, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for your time, Mo.